Coming at you. I already feel bad. I feel stupid for coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. If that's loud, I apologize. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram. And that guy right there.
He always changes it up on the routine. Guys, my name is Brooke. You can find me at BrookeMe3. Well. Also on Twitter and Instagram. Today, we're going to finally wrap up the Justin Turner saga. I think it's about time we put it to bed. One more update for you that we'll get to talk about, and then we'll never have to talk about it again until we have to talk about it again. It's like the whole Astros thing again. Remember we spent like 6 months talking about it on podcasts?
Yeah.
Now we're kind of going to talk about it.
And then we have Astros back again, so... Thank you, Jeff Lunau, but we'll get into that quite soon. We also got to talk a little bit about MLB's lukewarm stove, because it's definitely not a hot stove, but, we figure as we try to remember what we do during off-season shows here, maybe look at what the roster should look like next year. You're going to start seeing the Dodgers linked to everybody because that's just what they do in the off-season. It makes people money. Shout out John Heyman. Pause for effect. Yeah. We're also going to do the giveaway, announce the winner of the cool, this one. There it is, that Justin Turner signed jersey. We'll announce that a little bit later in the show and announce the new giveaway that we are doing with our friends over at Elite Sports Collectibles. And like Mr. Brooke already alluded, we will be talking about the Astros. But first, we got to remind you we are a podcast. If you were looking to listen to us for some reason, we'd like it if you subscribed while you're doing it and maybe mash that... like, but has it like stars? Give us stars. Yeah, that's a thing. I'm a 5-star man.
Yeah, it's got to be stars or else I don't pay attention to it. On Amazon they have the bar and that's it. You just rank on the bar. I don't like that. Guys, don't forget, this is a live show. We are live in the flesh. We are in off-season mode, so we have nothing to talk about. So make sure you drop into the comments. Let us know where you're watching tonight. Let us know where you're repping. We will try to shout you out as best we can. We see people climbing into the stream pretty rapidly right now, so hopefully those will start flying in and we can shout you guys out. You got something?
I see Savannah on YouTube saying I'm going crazy without baseball right now, and I've been feeling that a lot more. It's like, okay, this has been a long couple of days off. When's the next game? When is Joe Davis going to call the next game? What the hell?
It's not like NBA where they got like a week and a half off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basketball just ended, but it's just about to start again. So,
well, I mean, there's KBO, but that doesn't count.
No.
Isn't like KBO playoffs? And if they're like, if you get COVID, like we don't care, we're gonna keep playing.
We're just gonna go.
We have like a 60-man roster.
We got replacements.
Active roster. Yeah, it's a little wild there. Let's Robert's right there as well, saying feeling some serious withdrawals. Hopefully we do get started. During spring training. That's something we talked about a little bit last week. We don't know. We really don't know. Things are a little odd, a little weird. Our buddy Roach is not drinking alcohol tonight like a coward, but coffee works. Just put a little bit of that fine bucana in there and you're...
He's got a job or whatever.
Also a coward.
Kids and stuff.
Our buddy Santiago, Mr. Santiago on YouTube is in the stream, says, yo, what up?
What up? Joy checking in from Periscope, checking in from Compton. Joy from Compton, welcome. Good to see you.
Yes. Cool Whip Special says I got my Joe Davis fix watching the Raiders and the Chargers. So he's doing big boy football now, huh?
He did the Raiders. He did a great job. He also sounds different on football broadcasts sometimes.
He probably was he supposed to be there or was it kind of last minute?
I don't know anything about football
because he is very particular about his microphone setup and all that.
I'm sure, but he probably didn't have his man.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes.
Shout out.
Also, I have no idea who he was calling that game with, but whoever that guy is he is the Rex Hudler of football calling. He is the worst. I don't know who that guy was, but my God, he needs to shut up.
Shout out with a Hudler reference right there.
I mean, it's a deep pull.
Yeah, Rex Hudler is moving to Oregon, if you guys know what I mean, because of all the drugs that passed.
Yeah, didn't he get caught with like a lot of weed at an airport or something like that?
Pretty sure.
He's like a Lenny Dykstra character.
Yeah. Lenny also liked a lot of cocaine. Anyways, what do we got? I saw a couple. Katie's out there opening her World Series merch slowly. Or it's slowly coming in the mail, so that's how you would slowly open it. But at least that's given some. Is that some baseball?
My World Series hat, I ordered it the night they won. Guess the anticipated date. After Thanksgiving. To be fair, to give them credit, the shirt that the championship shirt is supposed to be there the week before Thanksgiving. So, they really expedited it for me.
Yeah.
Don't they know I have a podcast and I am a very important person?
I have I don't know what side it is. Mine says playoffs.
Yeah, I see it.
So that's why I just stuck with that.
Postseason, dummy.
Yeah. Whatever.
Those are two different things.
They all taste the same, right? They taste like victory. Jose, our buddy Jose Rod, has spent $400 on merch now. Benji stuff is coming this Friday. Cool.
Benji. Shout out to Benji Molina.
But will it be your hat, Benji Molina? Noted Dodger fan Benji Molina. King Leopold is coming over from our Doug's Justin Turner video on our Dodgers Nation YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Do check that out. Do subscribe. Do hit that notification bell. You'll be glad you did. But Doug will be around all offseason doing videos, doing some hot take stuff, and keeping everybody up to date on lame rumors that people are doing, and either this is real, this is fake, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys do keep up with Doug at DMac_LA all off season long. He will be here, and he will be delicious.
He will be delicious, and he will be talking loud, and we love Doug, and he'll keep you awake. That's for sure.
Oh man. So we get, like I said, like you already said, we finally have something of a resolution to the Justin Turner saga. Justin, of course, was thrown under the bus by MLB immediately, thrown under the bus by Fox immediately after the game for a positive COVID test. And sure, things didn't look all that good, him going on the field. It was definitely a bad call for him to go on the field. You understand the emotions of it. He's explained the emotions of it. Dave Roberts has explained the emotions of it on a few different shows and different different interviews. And if you've missed any of those, check them out on our DodgersNation.com. Check it out. It's a nice thing. It helps keep us alive. It helps us feel validated. Pause for effect. But
good pause.
Yeah, nice pause. I don't have nice pads, but it was like an animal
dog.
Dog, and cats have paws and pads. I'm having fun. This
is going to play up great for every side of the podcast. It doesn't matter.
I'm having fun really just not being locked in the old brain. But, he was found not guilty of being evil.
In the court of Manfred?
Manfred said he will not be punished. The big thing is, do you have a problem there?
When I put it down, it splashed.
Well, you got to watch The Thing.
Waterworks.
Yeah. We're trying a new thing to put our beer on. It's a whole ordeal. And again, I apologize for the people listening on the podcast. This feels like one of them normal Dodger type of podcasts, like bad is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them disappeared during the offseason. What's up with that? All right, I'm not going to go attacking people, but yeah, Turner. He explained his reasonings,
right?
Why he did it, which is the reasoning we all knew. It's like, hey, emotions kind of got the little bit of the best of me there. I wanted to go out and celebrate my team, the thing I've been working for all of my career and all of my life. I want to go win a World Series. It's the thing you dream about all your life. And, as a baseball fan. And he also kind of got some bad info, I guess, in a little bit of a way. Well, one, his teammates were telling him, no, get your ass out here. I don't think that's verbatim, but the team tried to push him out there.
Probably verbatim.
Maybe a few more F-bombs in there. They're a little spicy. And Walker Buehler is a Dodger, so, Walker F. and Buehler. But,
well, what had happened was...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he went out there and then, I think one of the Dodger personnel didn't say anything or kind of, encouraged him out there. And MLB personnel was like, oh, there he goes.
Oh, no, wait, stop.
Mr.
Don't
Turner.
go.
Mr. Turner, come back. So Manfred, though, I think that the big thing, since this is sort of another off-season heavy Manfred subject, Manfred said they're not going to apologize. Turner, MLB's not going to apologize. They're not going to punish Justin Turner. The big thing for me is MLB for once, and Rob Manfred for once, actually admitted some fault in the situation, which is wild.
They don't tend to do that, historically speaking, especially mistakes made specifically by them. In this case, one of them, it kind of was by them. You got to look at it that way. It kind of was by them.
Mm-hmm.
Any Dodger player you ask, any Dodger player you've seen be outspoken or on a podcast or on an interview or in the past couple of weeks, they look at it, they're like, yeah, of course, probably shouldn't have had him out on the field. That's our bad. We told him to come out there. But also, MLB, that's kind of your job. What happened? Why'd you miss this? Why were the tests so late? Why did all these things happen? Why was the bubble open? Why were MLB reporters going in and out of the bubble and going to golf courses that they're not supposed to be at? All these things that go into it.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you look at it, you're like, this is partially MLB's fault. And they apologize. There's not really anything coming of it, which is the interesting part to me. You look at it and you kind of expected something. I don't know if it's punishment. I don't know if it's a change. I don't know what I expected. For me,
yeah,
I looked at it and I was like, at the very least, the Dodgers are probably going to get a fine, monetary fine. Not a big deal. Hand it over.
Yeah, it just goes straight to charity anyways. So you do that.
So that's what I expected. But
JT already does so much charity work on his own.
I think it was that combined with the fact that the league recognized that they did play a part in it. And I think that them not issuing a punishment was them also admitting, like, yeah, it was partially our fault.
Yeah. You set up your player to get the Rona. You shouldn't fault him for getting the Rona and potentially spreading it around. I mean, that part kind of, because there were protocols that the teams agreed to. If this happens, you have to do X, Y, and Z. And he did X, and then he was like, why am I not out there? Z you later.
I see what you did there.
We're back, baby! The brain, I mean, it's not fully working again, but I'm wondering, because we haven't necessarily talked so much about this, is it the right call? Should they have not done anything? Considering how much Manfred specifically has messed up on these punishments and so many, front-facing, fan-facing opportunities to do something right for the league, or to whatever it may be, not even do something right for the league, but at least look right to the fans and to the general public, maybe people you're trying to get involved in baseball, to come watch baseball. Was it the right call for him to not issue some sort of punishment when it's something as global as a pandemic? Because a pandemic is global and local is an epidemic.
I see. Yeah. If you have an opinion on that, make sure you drop it in the chat. I want to read your guys' opinions, because obviously we all have different trains of thought. We all come from different backgrounds. We all think differently, and I am dumb. With that in mind, I can't say whether it's the right call. I think there are deeper conversations that were had between, I guess, it's really three sides, because you have the Dodgers, who are a team, you have the league, who is the league, and then you have JT, who is technically a free agent and technically not a part of the team anymore. Yeah. So it kind of is a three-sided deal, but I'm sure that, which is why we got the three different official statements. I think my favorite part was when they were released all as one to the league, or from the team, and it was all three statements combined together in like one tweet or whatever, and they were basically like, yeah, this is that's a lot. I'm not going to read that. It's just people in comments like, I'm happy for you, man, but I'm not going to read that.
Yeah, it was a little wild to see that, man. Like, because there was three different statements, and each one was wildly verbose. And
I can't read very well.
So. JT's was solid, in my opinion.
I thought his was the best of the three, honestly. And that's kind of rightfully so. The Dodgers one's kind of automated. It comes from like a PR perspective. There's no heart behind it. There's not supposed to be, really. It's a business. But for me, I'm not a good reader. We know read good, So when I'm trying to go through all those things, I was like, I basically was like, I'm going to maybe read the MLB one, but I'm definitely reading the JT one. And that's kind of it. Everything else kind of just thumbed through. You got a lot of people chiming in about it. Rich Hills Blister of our Periscope, good friend, says leave Justin Turner alone, in all caps marks. Couldn't agree more. He is a saint. He does really, really good things for the city of Los Angeles. That doesn't give him a pass, obviously, for anything in life, but also it's easier to forgive him for those sort of things. Roach says Justin Turner's good. Rob Manfred is bad. Back to you in the studio. Perfect way to sum it up. No matter what Rob does, it's not good. It's not good.
So apparently we are also not up on Facebook, which is a little wild. Usually our Chinga does well to do the Facebook well, and I don't think I'll be able to fix it here midstream. So we appreciate everybody moving over to YouTube and Periscope, hanging out with us and giving us your comments. I will try to just turn it off and turn it back on again on Facebook. It feels to me a lot like it was, if they did punish him, it would have looked bad. Or MLB would have been subject to more scrutiny. So it's like, hey, let's just try to sweep this under the rug as easy as we can, as best as we can. Hey, I guess it kind of works for Dodger fans. You would have liked to have seen something just for sort of the not really, soups and giggles, but the front facing, the fact that it does look bad to have a guy that runs back out on the field to people that didn't ever really know, or people that maybe don't watch baseball, that are worried about the pandemic, worried about everything else, and to see this guy go run out in the field and then not get anything, not get punished for it. It's that I can see how people would get upset about that. So
right.
Maybe Manfred loses an opportunity. I don't think anybody would have, any baseball fan or any Dodger fan would have been overly upset if a Dodger or if he was punished in some way, not like suspended. He shouldn't have got anything, because then that would open up a whole other can of worms with the Astros and the lack of punishment on the players there. So it was the lesser of all the evils for him to not do it, and it's one of those things where things become things. And we ask yet again about Rob Manfred. Can he do anything right? Because he set himself up for this with his Astros in action last year, and you set yourself up for failure now this year if something bad happens, and that's kind of the situation, because now we can go forward to today's news of the Astros are back in it, and former Astros general manager Jeff Luhnow is suing the team for a breach of contract. So it's full circle now for Robbie. I love this storyline, because once again Manfred just finds a way, or something finds a way to circle back or to double back to the fact that Rob Manfred's an idiot, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He should not be the commissioner of Major League Baseball. But the suit that Jeff Luhnow is the reason he's suing the Astros. He's saying that the owner, Jim Crane, worked with Manfred on, the way I termed it is build your own punishment package.
I like that. Yeah.
And essentially they made Luhnow, and they made AJ Hinch and the other guy, Alex Cora, and Carlos Beltran, the scapegoats. In Luhnow's suit, he's the full-blown scapegoat or whatever, but baseball, MLB, Rob Manfred made all of those people the scapegoat in a way, and none of the players, and that's been the huge problem for a lot of fans, and not even baseball fans. I mean, some people just watching from the outside thinking like, that doesn't seem right. So anyways, Luhnow alleges that he was used as a scapegoat, and also to save the organization millions and millions of dollars. I think it was like 22 or like $31 million from his contract alone. So yeah, seriously, can Rob Manfred do anything right here?
Oh man, well, I think something to keep in mind is it's still a lawsuit by a guy who was fired by the team, obviously. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be some ill intent in there. There's going to be some anger. There's going to be some hurt feelings. So you kind of take that as you will. You can look at it as, yeah, obviously he could lie about it because he's been fired by that team now. Or he could be really telling the truth about it because he's been fired by the team and it doesn't matter anymore. Yep. So you can look at it both ways. I think when you're looking at it from a logical standpoint, it makes sense that Manfred would work with the team to kind of protect the players. And you just look at it and it just feels dirty and it just feels wrong and it just feels like another bad thing that they've done. Not necessarily the Astros themselves, but I guess the league. There's like a very specific part in it that it says that Crane and the Astros were assured of fielding a contending team in 2020. And you look at that and you're like, number one, why should that have mattered at any point in an investigation where the team was caught cheating by said players? Mm-hmm. It's really hard for me to grasp that and understand why they would do that. Obviously, for so long, we've talked about the fact that the players' union would have protected those players. It would have been a really difficult process. There would have been a lot of things in it, yada, yada, yada. That's not really the case here. We're more talking about the fact that the league never pursued it in the first place. They didn't try at all. And so when you look at that, you hear what guys like Alex Cora have said, and guys like you've heard that Carlos Beltran as a player was pretty heavily involved in it. And you start thinking about that and looking and saying like, I'm sure AJ Hinch and Alex Cora, all those guys knew everything that was happening. But to hear that players were so involved in it, so involved in spearheading the process on a daily basis and involved in text chains and email chains, like making sure that they knew who was covering what for the day and things like that get exposed on a daily basis. Every time we read about more about this thing, you start looking at that and you're like, why were you allowed to play in 2020? Why were you allowed to go out on the field and make money and make a lot of money, actually?
Yeah.
And why was, Cora and Hinch being suspended? To me, that was fine. Like those needed to happen regardless. But you look at everything else happening and you're like, wait a second.
This
is not kosher. There's something wrong here. There's not consistent. All I'm asking for in life is consistency. If you look at the NFL, they have really bad officiating. As long as it's consistent and it's always the same, I don't really care because they're always going to be bad. But keep it consistent. I don't matter. If you're going to be Major League Baseball and you're going to be Rob Manfred and you're going to dish out punishments and you're going to be bad or good, whatever you're going to do, just be consistent with it. Just do it well. And you're just not. It seems like you're not transparent at all with your fan base. It seems like you're hiding so many different things from your fan base. It shouldn't be a situation where you look at something happening and you're like, I have no idea what Rob Manfred's going to do with this situation. He might punish somebody, like he might ban them from baseball, or he might not do anything at all. Like you just don't know what's going to happen anymore.
Yeah, and they he worsened his front-facing relationship with fans and the game and the league and non-fans with the back and forth and the BS that happened during the shutdown and the fact that we had to ultimately settle on only 60 games, even though they wanted to play more. But then after the game, the schedule was implemented. He's like, oh yeah, we were never going to play more than 60 games. I was like, then why did I have the bowl, Bart? Why did I have the bowl? Anyways, we'll pause here to welcome our friends on Facebook. Sorry, we had some technical issues. If you want to watch the whole episode, it will be out as a podcast tomorrow, and the whole thing will be available on YouTube right after we are done. So apologies to Facebook. We're glad to see y'all joining us now. Some Facebook. Yes, we are talking about Rob Manfred. We're talking about the Astros punishment, the Astros back in the news as part of their former GM suing them for firing him as a scapegoat in their stupidness. That's it. That's my technical way of saying it.
It was really good. It was really smart and really well crafted.
Sorry, there's been a lot of things going on in the background here trying to make this thing work. I want to know people's thoughts here because I know it's been a source of online of anger for a number of people, and I'm curious as your thoughts. So Alex Cora lost his job with the Red Sox as part of that Astros investigation last offseason. AJ Hinch lost his job when he was fired by the Astros because he had to be, because of the air quote punishment. As somebody said, LJ on Periscope says, what punishment? My bad. Not a punishment. Slap on the wrist.
See, much better.
So Alex Cora was already rehired by the Red Sox, and AJ Hinch took over as the manager of the Tigers now. How bad does that look? Less than a year, it's not a year. 10 months?
It's roughly 10 months, roughly, give or take.
And they already have new jobs.
I mean, we can date all the way back to the day that they got fired and the podcast that followed that. And I'm sure on that podcast, we would both say something about the day that they are allowed to come back, they'll both be back. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we said something along those lines, they're back, and it makes sense. Did not see Cora going directly back to the Red Sox. I will say that. Did not see that happening. I thought the Red Sox were going to be a better organization than that, a smarter organization than that. I should know better. It's Boston. No one's smart in Boston, unless you're from Boston, in which case you're the smartest guy out there.
Wicked smart.
It just, everything about that just screams Boston to me. Hinch going to a non-competitive team, it just makes the most sense of anything that I've ever heard in my entire life. You knew that he was not going to go to a contender, because no contender worth their weight and whatever the saying is. I don't know what it is. Don't throw rocks at glass or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
If you're stoned. You knew it just made sense that he wasn't going to go to a contender, a team that's going to win, a team that's in a place to win games. Detroit's perfect for him. I'm sure he's going to love Detroit. Yeah. It is funny that he goes to an American League team still. I think that's a little funny, but it just looks so bad, especially the timing of this lawsuit being released and hearing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they got hired within, a week of each other or something like that. It's a real tight window that was on that. So you look at that happening combined with the fact that this lawsuit is also happening, and they're going like, hey, yeah, like those two guys got thrown under the bus and I got thrown under the bus and all the players were protected. Now you're looking at it and saying, like, in the first place, it was already a weak punishment. In the first place. Like, forget everything about this lawsuit for a second.
Precedent.
It was already a bad punishment. Of course, there's precedent, et cetera, whatever.
Precedent.
Now you're looking at it. You get to look back on it a little bit with all of this in mind, and you're going, oh, hell yeah. They got a $5 million fine, lost some draft picks, and had to suspend their guys that they ended up firing.
And they got to keep that ill-gotten World Series piece of metal.
And still got to go to the championship series because they still got to field a contending team.
Yeah.
I mean, you can call them contending, I guess. They made it to the championship series.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing right there, too. But people are sounding off. Michael says, screw the Astros and that whole team. Mark says, reinstate Pete Rose, which that's a whole other different can of worms. I think... But I mean, there's no precedent on any of these sort of things. But if they're so bad about their punishments now, and they're really just the league doesn't care. It feels like they really don't care about the product. They only care about the money. Why not put Pete Rose? Hey, Pete Rose getting back in the game and getting into the Hall of Fame where he rightfully deserves. That would be a huge headline. Every network would pick that up. If you go and undo a lifetime ban while the guy's still alive, and then you get all of the quotes from him. Like, I'm helping you guys write your story here. Think of the athlete. Hey, Kenny Rosenthal. He needs a push for this here.
He needs big stories. He really fumbled the ball in the JT story, so he needs something else.
So many times.
Go play handball on the curb, Kenny. Yeah, that's an opinion that I know is going to divide baseball fans alike. I think you and I both fall in the same boat that I feel like Pete Rose should not be banned from baseball. Personally, is he a good dude? No, a terrible human being. Was he a great ball player? One of the best of all time. So with that in mind, we won't get into that subject because we can argue that all day long. If Barry Bonds gets to be a part of baseball, Pete Rose should be able to be a part of baseball. That's my argument. Thank you.
Kevin Stearns on Facebook says Cora and Hinch should have been both permanently banned. So if you did look into the Cora thing a little bit more, and this is kind of part of what Lunau is alleging, it's like they weren't. I don't think Cora was as involved in it. It was a lot more player driven, and Cora kind of had to eat crow on it. But I think ESPN, during the shutdown, kind of did a profile on Cora and painted a little bit different story of it. And Cora feels bad and all this kind of stuff. Plus, he's a former Dodger. I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe I have mixed emotion because of that, because I loved watching him and Asturis up the middle. For the early part of the 2000s, but whatever. If you're gonna ban Hinch for life, you got to ban Cora. Then why not? And Beltran's. I mean, he was probably not going in the Hall of Fame either way. Very good player, but yeah,
he played for the Mets. That doesn't count.
That bitch. Nicole says Manfred is a tool, and that is a perfect place to button up this segment because you really can't wrap it much better than that. Manfred is a tool. And wrap your tool. No look.
Bike bell.
That was the no look pass. Speaking of no look pass, totally great segue. We're going to no look. You're not going to look at us while we talk about this giveaway. So we have a winner for our Justin Turner signed jersey from our friends over at Elite Sports Collectibles. The winner is, I have a drum roll. Where is it? I always forget. It's that one. It's like right in the middle. Hermes Bonilla.
This is excellent pronunciation.
Did you want me to say Bonilla?
Hermes Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla.
That's at Hermes_Bonilla on the Instagram. Send us a DM. We will reach out to you. You have 48 hours to claim your prizes. Justin Turner autographed jersey, courtesy of our friends at Elite Sports Collectibles on Instagram. New giveaway announcement. Because we will be working with our friends over at Elite all off-season long. Or not all, I think through the rest of 2020. Maybe going beyond that, but we are giving away this fine autographed Cody Bellinger baseball. It might have bits of, melted cutting board and pizza. Maybe not, but Cody Bellinger did autograph this ball, and it has a thing. What do they call it? It has a stamp, like the seal of approval.
Seal of approval.
Seal of approval. It is authenticated. So you have a week to enter this on our Instagram. Check it out at Official Dodgers Nation. What you're going to want to do to enter to win is follow at Elite Sports Collectibles on Instagram. Follow us at Official Dodgers Nation. Follow, or I should say subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. And on the comment, in the comment section there on that Instagram post on our Dodgers Nation Instagram, talk about your favorite Bellinger moment from this postseason, of which there were several fantastic moments. So you have a week. You have a week to enter.
A week, you say?
A week.
Oh, yeah, because we announce them every podcast, you see. Because we are prepared for it every night, and I don't pick the winner 10 seconds before we announce it sometimes.
I know, this time you did it like an hour before.
I did it way before, because last week I forgot, and I had to scramble, and when you were talking, I picked the winner, and then we announced it 3 seconds later. So we're really good at doing stuff.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm usually pretty better at scrambling during the show. Right now, like, I don't know, maybe I just didn't have...
Off-season
I
mode.
didn't have coffee today. And I've had 1.5 Monsters, like the taller
you usually
cans.
have more.
No, I usually will have a coffee and a Monster. So I think that's where I'm a little bit off. Like
You're out of balance.
Chemically imbalanced is what we'll say.
Yeah, you're usually chemically imbalanced.
Digging into the comments a bit here, our buddy Roach wanted to point out Tony La Russa got another DUI and got a job. Our friend Janae is in the stream. What's going on, Janae? Hi.
It's a pretty good deal. You get a DUI and a job.
Hey, I love DUI.
Like
they're
2
delicious.
for 1.
We're talking about gyms, right? Anybody? Pico? No. Oof. That's what I got to say.
They don't have computers there.
They do not. They don't have the internet there. Let's see. Getting a couple more on the Cora and the Astros and all that. We got it says Cora should not be back in baseball. What the F? That is stupid. Commissioner needs to be fired. That is a huge sentiment all across the league, all across baseball, all across fans. Everybody really wants that guy fired. So hashtag fire Rob Manfred. Ruben points out that Manfred was drunk the night the Dodgers clinched the World Series. Yeah, I don't remember if we actually talked about that or not on here, but that was
we talked about it briefly.
It was weird.
It was a weird night, man.
He was playing like some sort of weird speech jammer game. It was bad.
Leslie says Mike Scioscia for first base coach.
I like that.
I love that, actually. I actually really like Mike Scioscia as a manager.
Wow. Somebody
not as like our manager.
Is that because your family grew up Angels fans?
No. That's also true. But I just think he's a nice guy in general. I just like his head. You just like look at his head and you're like, that's a nice guy. And he's just like,
that's a nice head.
And he's like,
that's a nice boulder.
Hello, guys. He's like that. Whatever he says in the Simpsons episode, that.
Oh man, is this ever sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, shout out. He still gets paid for that, by the way.
Oh hell yeah. He's not getting paid by the Angels, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Homer at the bat. Quality episode. All right. Enough BSing around because, again, we've been scatterbrained. Whatever. It's off season and we're trying to be semi-structured.
No one's watching.
As opposed to, it says over 30 billion people are watching, 30 billion served right now.
Oh.
So I know one of the things you wanted to talk about a little bit today is the warm stove 2020. And rumors, trades, free agents we don't need, and that's the big thing we want to focus on because this is the time of year when everybody starts linking the Dodgers to Frankie Lindor. They start linking him to Nolan Arenado again, even though Arenado's not on the market, or even some of the free agents, Bauer, names like that. I guess LeMahieu's another name there that you might hear a little bit. And I would think of any of those names, honestly, DJ LeMahieu's the one I like the most.
He is the one that makes the most sense. I mean, if you're looking at all the big names that are floating out there right now, you look at the Dodgers roster build and their situation, he would make the most sense. Still going to argue against it.
So today or yesterday on his podcast, John Heyman, which I didn't even know he had a podcast, but apparently John Heyman.
Sponsored by Scott Boras.
He get paid. Papa Bear is in his is in his pocket there, but the Frankie Lindor stuff is the big one because it's that time of year. Frankie Lindor is definitely getting traded from Cleveland, just like he was last year. definitely getting traded from Cleveland. This year does make a lot more sense because they are, how do you call it, cheap. The same reason I was very I became more and more bothered. I thought they were going to bring up the financial might narrative a lot more during the World Series. Instead, they were stroking off Randy Arozarena. Right. But the Dodgers have this huge payroll and the Tampa Bays have this tiny payroll. Well, the Rays, like, they trade away their good players. They use up their good players' talent when they're cheap, trade them away when they're starting to get expensive, and then they don't have to pay for, the value they got when they were playing for them. So that's a thing that Cleveland is pretty big on. They're obviously not a huge market, and Frankie Lindor is going to move somewhere this year, they claim. I hope not the Yankees. I saw him linked to the Yankees, and I would hate to see him have to shave and have to be a Yankee. I would hate to have to hate him. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, everybody wants to add the superstar to your lineup. We obviously got ours in Mookie Betts. We got a lot of pieces that we can move around in the diamond. We're very flexible. We're getting rid of Kike. All the good things are happening this year. I couldn't help. I got to take a shot. I mean, I have to. You're looking at Lindor. Lindor is 100% going to be a Yankee or a Met by the time this thing's all said and done. He's either going to be a Yankee, a Met, or an Indian when the season starts.
Do you think, what's his name, Cohen? Do you think he goes that quick after somebody like that?
I know that
he doesn't even have a front office yet.
I know that we talked about it, and we knew we had kind of decided that they were going to settle in first and then get things moving. Yeah. I just think that the Mets fans are foaming at the mouth for so many different things, on top of the fact that they're
Robbie Cano. Don't you know?
On top of the fact that they're wasting the best years of Jacob deGrom's life right now, you got to really consider that, because Jacob deGrom, his clock is ticking, and it's ticking fast. He's a lot older than you guys think he is, because I know in your mind you're like 26, 27-year-old guy. No, Clayton Kershaw age guy. That's tough to remember, and it's tough to consider that you're not going to have very many. You very well could have already seen his best years. They could be behind him now. They could be. It's not necessarily that they will be. With that in mind, I think that the Mets will make one big move at the start of to kick things off, to kick off the new ownership, to kick off everything. They'll make one big move, and everything else will kind of be fall in place type of things. They won't compete again. They just won't. That could be George Springer. It could be George Springer instead of Frankie Lindor.
I think they would, yeah. I mean, do they have talent to trade?
They don't, but they have a lot of money that they can give Cleveland, and Cleveland likes money.
Yeah, there's a number of questions over there for the old Mets, and it's like, is Pete Alonso the real deal? Do you want to try to build around him? Which we already have the answer. No. No. David Wright isn't at third base anymore, and he hasn't been for like 37 years. They're not a terribly good team. I think they're finally out from under the Cespedes contract. That's good for them. But I would see them more moving on the free agent market. Springer there makes a lot of sense. You get Springer there, you can move Lagares around, and apparently we're a Mets show now. Thanks for tuning in. But the other big thing is like how far along in his rehab, because he's a severe drug addict. Noah Syndergaard, made famous by Dustin May. How far along is he? He's like, is this now? Do you want to do that now, or do you want to kind of set some things in place and get ready for the next season? Like, do you want to push now? And I do agree that maybe you need to now. You just bought the team. Show you mean business.
You gotta do something.
Your half brother will be happy.
Yeah,
Mark Lucino or whatever.
We got some looks, yeah. Getting into the Dodger side of it, the reason why they don't need Francisco Lindor on this team, obviously the cost that it's gonna. Cleveland doesn't know how to make trades, so it very well could be a very low cost. The last time they were supposed talks, it was like 5 of their top 10 prospects. That conversation has obviously dramatically changed. The less he has on his contract, the older he gets, things adjust. He's closer to free agency. He's going to get a huge contract when that happens. With that in mind, despite all of that, you look at the talent around the diamond, you're going to re-sign Justin Turner. That's a foregone conclusion. I would bet all the money that I have in my bank account, which is not very much, that Justin Turner returns to the Dodgers. I have no problem with that bet. I feel good about that bet. Do you see JT ever playing anywhere else for the rest of his career?
No.
Easy. All right, you got a third baseman again for next year, at least. At least. You maybe got him a couple of years. It's arguable whether or not you want to play in third base that long anyways. You got to consider the DH, how that plays in next year. We still don't know that. Nobody really knows that right now. Hopefully that'll be figured out before January, because a lot of trades and a lot of signings are going to be contingent on that damn designated hitter being in the NL or not.
Which is a thing Manfred's holding hostage right now over the league.
You look and you're like, hey, well, I want Frankie to play shortstop. No, you don't want Frankie to play shortstop. If you're going to move Corey around somewhere, there's not really a place that you can move him around to right now that can open up a position for him. There is no open position for him right now. Corey Seager, on paper and in my heart, is a better shortstop. Maybe not defensively, but a better shortstop than Francisco Lindor in my heart. The season he just put up, granted, 60-game season, a lot shorter. Numbers are a lot different. It's hard to judge. He put up the best season that he's ever had. He put up a better season than any season Frankie Lindor has ever had. So looking at those two things, obviously there's health concerns with Corey, yada, yada, yada. I want them to sign Corey to a long-term deal. Give him the Mookie Betts deal right now.
Hold on, you're getting ahead of ourselves.
I know. I just got a lot to say about this Frankie Lindor situation. You got second baseman. You can rotate people. Gavin Lux, as much as you guys are not sold on him, I'm not entirely sold on him myself, but you can't give up on him as quickly as that. You can't just say, like, one and done season. We didn't see anything out of you from that one season. We're done with you. Move along. They won't do that. With all that in mind, they will not be in on Frankie Lindor. I'm very much convinced of that, and I hope I eat my words on that. That would be cool.
So you're talking about wanting to extend Seager, though. You can't get a Lindor because you're not going to trade away good value for Lindor if you're not going to sign him. And you don't have you can't have all of these superstar players, and that's what's made the Dodgers.
We're not the Yankees.
That's what made the Dodgers so damn good for so long. It's that we've been building, and you move on. You didn't overpay for Greinke. We lost superstar talent like Juan Uribe, rest in peace, Juani, but. You let the players go. That's kind of like the way the Dodgers have always operated. Let the players go before they get too expensive. But if you go and get a Lindor and you only have him for the 1 year, what's the point if you have to trade like Gavin Lux? Right. I mean, sure, you're almost guaranteeing yourself another, very, very likely title in 2021 if you have Lindor and Seager and Belly and Muncy and a full season and all this kind of stuff. But if you do have him, and now you're trying to extend him, missed Mookie in there. You have Mookie getting all this money. You have to figure out what you're going to do with Kershaw after next season, which is something we're going to talk about very shortly. You need to Corey's going to keep getting more expensive, and you need to re-sign him after next season. You have to worry about Bellinger getting more expensive. All of these guys are Boris clients. Bueller needs to get paid. Julio Urias needs to get MF and paid.
Dude's been around forever. He's got to get paid soon.
I remember I've been focusing on the fact that somebody gave me crap about saying his name wrong. I'm doing it the white guy way, kind of on purpose. All right, Urias, if you want me to do it like all overdone.
Julio Urias.
Urias.
Yeah, Urias.
Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of different little subplots in there we're going to get into in the next segment of the show because we have fancy, air quote, graphics. Chris Bryant, we've seen that. Bryant is off of a terrible year. But I've seen people wanting to try to link him to LA, not like any of the major players. I've just seen like fans try to link it and make it happen online. If, for some reason, the Cubs let Bryant go here. And one of the things I do love about this Bryant thing is that this was the extra year that they screwed him over for. And they don't even want him now.
This is the year that they worked to screw him over, to ruin the relationship with him, to make things really contentious. And they got this year out of him. They got 34 games and a 206 batting average to go along with a .644 OPS and 4 bombs. He hit 4 dingers the whole year. At Wrigley.
Short season.
At Wrigley, he hit 4 bombs.
Yeah. You think anything comes of Bryant? I mean, definitely not coming to LA.
No. I really don't think he's coming to LA. I honestly, looking at it, people are talking about them shedding salary, the way it works out, things like that. He had one really bad year. I just can't see the Cubs letting it go like that. I don't think it ends there. I think he plays with the Cubs next year. I think he plays with the Cubs probably long term, but maybe not long term. But I think he's in Chicago next year.
Yeah. Plus, who is it? The other guy, Rizzo. They're going to need to pay him at some point again. And I don't think they're going to let him go. But if they do, they can't let Brizzo break up like immediately or within like a year of each other or whatever. So Chris Bryant will remain a Cub. If he doesn't, he's not coming to LA. He's not going to be a Dodger.
Nah.
The other one we see every single year is old Los Angeles native Nolan Arenado desperately hates Colorado, which is why he signed that big extension. Does Nolan Arenado get moved this offseason?
I mean, I thought it was weird that he signed that extension in the first place with Colorado, especially since you don't often hear players of high talent talk about how disappointed that they are in their team and their organization as a whole and their lack of performance. He did that quite often. And so him automatically just going like, hey, I'll sign this contract. We'll be here long term. Let's get it done. Let's lock it in. It's like, dude, 2 weeks ago you were like, man, we just need to compete. This is ridiculous. I thought I was here to win. Like things like that. And then now you're like, I'll sign the contract. That's a lot of money. I'll take it. I thought that was weird in the first place. So with that in mind, it would not surprise me a whole lot to see the Rockies kind of be like, we kind of messed up. We should not have given him that big of an extension. We wanted to make him happy. We wanted him to stick around. They could get some good. They could get some quality talent out of that trade. Obviously, playing in the NL West, they know what the Dodgers have. They know what they're loaded with. There could be some sort of interest there. I don't know what that interest level would be. I don't know how realistic it is. In my mind, I don't see them moving their star piece to in the division. I don't see that happening. If it was a lesser guy, maybe. Yeah, that happens often. But their star piece moving in the division, I just don't see it. I could see him being traded, though. I don't know where. I don't know who could afford him right now.
Be a tough offseason to do it, because you really don't know. Oof, that sucks. You really don't know what well, they have Devers, too. But you don't know what baseball is going to look like after 2021. You don't even know what it's going to look like this coming season. So... I mean, hell, you don't even know if it's fully going to happen. I think I saw today or recently the planning is definitely, the full 162 game season. Whether or not that will happen, I mean, some of that might be league mandated because they can't afford to play another season without, at least half capacity. And well, we know the stadiums are still going to take a while to fill up, so not to dig into that too much. It's an interesting offseason, and this is going to be a long and weird, like, hot stove time. I'm
really excited for it because it's going to be really weird.
Yeah. Juiced Lee saying another 60-game season. No, it won't be that bad. I mean, maybe 100, maybe 120. They've figured out ways to make it work, but the money-wise, I don't know if baseball wants to try to make that work.
Another factor in the Nolan Arenado trade that I did not think about is the fact that he has a player opt out after the 2021 season. And so the Rockies could be nervous that he's going, depending on how this next year goes for them, they could be nervous that he's going to be like, screw this. I know there's, I think it's like 150 million left on the table after that or something crazy, but you might want to take a contract somewhere else. And that could be the case. Again, don't know what's going to happen. Don't know what's going to happen this season. Don't know what's going to happen next season after the collective bargaining agreement expires. There's just so many factors that play into it. Personally, if I were a ball player, I am not. I sit here at a desk and I don't move very much. If I were a ball player, would not want to be a free agent by the time that new CBA comes around, because you just don't know how it's going to work out, or if it's going to expire, or if it's going to be bad, or if it's going to be pro owner, anti whatever's. Makes you nervous. Makes you a little nervous. Don't like it. So be ready for a lot of weirdness this offseason and a lot of I don't know what to do and I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, definitely in this weird offseason of teams have lost money and they're trying to recoup in some way, shape, or form next season. There's a good amount of quality free agents out there. I want to forego the free agent talk right now. We could save that for another episode because they ain't going anywhere. It's not going to be it's not going to be changing in the next week. But we have some Padres trolls in the stream, in the chat. That's been funny. So I'm seeing a lot of people being like, kick them out or whatever. It's funny. They're so cute, Padres fans. Like,
Talking Padres is the podcast.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even
right?
so, well, there's that. There's a few more too.
There's more than Talking
yeah,
Padres.
I
Talking Padres is being reasonable.
Yeah, yeah. There's another one. I think it's SS, and there's Eric 97. So we got a few pods people in here, which is pretty funny. And I like that. We they're saying, oh, we had two of our aces hurt. How are we supposed to beat you? Blah blah. But they also are now saying, oh, it's an asterisk season, and oh, Cronenworth was robbed, and oh, whatever Tatis and that we were afraid of Tatis. They said so. It's so funny. Like,
yeah, that's an interesting
new to winning they are.
An interesting argument to me for a lot of reasons, especially the Lamet Clevenger thing. Because it's almost like you're faulting us for your pitchers being hurt and you not being a deep enough organization to make a run into the playoffs, and that's not our fault. We had guys that weren't in this, that didn't get to play all year long. We had David Price, who was a top 3 starter, opt out of the season. We had Jimmy Nelson die in the middle of the season. We had so many guys who were supposed to not contribute, and a bunch of guys who we didn't expect to contribute. We were in the exact same boat as you were. We were just a better team. I don't know what else to tell you. Get over it. You lost. Better. You didn't win beyond your wild card series. Go ahead and hang up your wild card banner. Be proud of that. Tell people that you won a playoff game this decade. Go to sleep happy with that.
I love it when you get a chance to talk to Padres fans.
They're always fun. They're always good time.
Great.
Yeah, they're good people.
All right, so we enjoyed it last week, and we'll see if it's fun again this week. We want to do a little bit of ESPN ripoff, calling it Around the Heaven. It's Around the Horn
Around
ripoff.
the Heaven?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
That's our podcast name, Heaven. I don't know.
Well, what had happened was...
This is my first day here.
Mrs. FRG says Victor Gonzalez stepped up.
Oh, Victor.
Yeah.
My heart.
I'm
working on my Spanish just so I can talk to Victor and Brewstar.
The player that only our Tim Rogers pointed out preseason, SD Dodger Tim had pointed out, like, this is a guy to watch, and you're seeing him get some big time outs in the World Series and every series, and I think he got engaged today, by the way.
Victor?
Yeah.
Aw,
BDV. Victor? They call him BDV.
He got his money. He got his World
ring.
Series appearance. He got his ring. He's ready to go. Victor. He's almost out of baseball.
Yeah. He was crying his way out of baseball, and so there's no crying in baseball.
Yeah, he said it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got that.
Oh, we got to do this thing.
So again, same way Around the Horn kind of works on the ESPN. We're gonna do it. We're not gonna get fired because ESPN be loving firing people these days. But no.
Yeah, a lot of people got fired.
Too soon.
A lot of people. ESPN sucks.
Yeah, well, yeah. The rules are simple. We're gonna do a minute on each topic here, and just kind of touch on some rando things, some things that have been that are related to the team, maybe related to the offseason. And the last one is just because I needed to fill that much space on the screen. Santiago says Brooks sounded so disappointed right now when he told Victor Gonzalez got engaged. How do you feel about that?
I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for that guy.
Cries.
Yeah, that means him and Brewstar are both engaged now.
Oh,
my 2 favorite guys are engaged. I'm so happy for them. They're so cool.
All right, first topic is the Dodgers lose first base coach George Lombard to cheating AJ Hinch's squad, his coaching staff over there in Detroit with the Tigers. Lombard had been with the Dodgers since Dave Roberts was hired on, so he's been here for the last 5 seasons. Now a World Series first base coach. He gets a promotion there with the Tigers to bench coach, so good for him. He's one of the very, very good people in the game. And he has a great story. If you haven't heard too much about him, go check out, some different articles on him. Do some George Lombard research. He's a great guy. But the question is here, I wonder, because I've seen some people asking about this, and Santiago's already ahead of us, throwing the clock up on the board. Who can or should take over as first base coach for your Los Angeles Dodgers? And go.
Oh, I go first?
Yeah. Because I have the button control.
I think this is Chase Utley's first step into coaching. I think this is his move into the coaching position, and I think it's a good one. That's all I have on. I don't have any other recommendations. You maybe pull Andre Ethier out of Arizona, I guess. I don't know. He's not doing
Dre would love it.
Oh, he's already there all the time in uniform as often as he can. Like, he calls him like, "Hey, can I come to practice today?"
I mean, I liked the idea of Mike Scioscia. I mean, he would not do that.
He wouldn't do it, but man, that would be really great to watch. I would also love Mike Scioscia like being the bullpen coach or something. I don't know, the bullpen catcher. I don't know.
It would be fantastic to see Chase Utley, because he would bring just such a different dynamic to the team or to the coaching staff that I think it does need. It needs that little bit of fire. Dave's too nice.
He is
straight too nice, but I don't think that would happen. I think he's too happy not working and just kind of doing Chase Utley things, being happy.
Not working's fun.
Yeah, but it'll most likely be probably maybe Viz.
Probably
Jose Vizcaino making his return to the big league coaching staff. Was that exciting? Who doesn't love off-season first base coach job talk?
To lead it off, right there at the top of the lineup, batting first.
That's because nobody tunes in immediately.
No one watches us.
Yeah, no. Who's here 58 minutes or whatever into the show? So the Dodgers have 7 arbitration eligible players. Scott Alexander, we got World Series legend Austin Barnes. Shout out to the Riv, Cody Bellinger, Walker Buehler, Dylan Floro, Corey Seager, and Julio Urias. Do all 7 of those guys come back?
No. 6 of them do.
6? Good call.
I think 6 guys get issued their contracts. Things worked out. Yada, yada, yada. It all works out for them. I don't think Scott Alexander makes a return to this team. He pretty much lived in the minor leagues for like the past season and a half.
Yeah.
He's gone. I don't think they're bringing him back.
I don't think they need him. It was very odd when he did come back, when they did offer him that deal last year.
Come back and don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
And he's like solid.
I mean, he wasn't bad. Again, he wasn't bad at the job. But
his job not doing anything.
They don't need to. I think it's like he's projected for maybe, 1.5, maybe $2 million. He's going to get a raise this offseason if they're trying to save money, because they do need to keep under the payroll. And then if you aren't abreast of the situation at payroll, our Tim Rogers also wrote a payroll piece on our DodgersNation.com, so check that out. But yeah, I agree with you there. Floro will likely be back, and your boy Scotty Alexander will not. And that's what people are agreeing with here. We got Damon saying no Alexander. Jose Rod pointing out that BD Vic did replace him. So that works. Big Steve says, oh yeah, Scott Alexander exists.
I mean, you look at it and you're like, he pitched 13 games this year? You're like, I don't even remember seeing him pitch in one game. I think he pitched in the Astros series, and that's the only series I could tell you for sure that he pitched in. And beyond that, I'm like, was that Kolarek or was that Alexander? Was that Jake McGee?
Yeah, those loogies, they all look the same.
There you go. But yeah, I don't think he's coming back.
So I think this one will be the most fun. Well, maybe the next 2.
I don't have fun.
This is true. You have, like I mentioned, of those 4 eligible guys, you got Cody Bellinger. He's not high, by the way, during games. Corey Seager, Walker Buehler, and you have Buehler. It's a combination of Walker and Julio.
Buehler.
Who of those guys would you personally extend first, offer a contract extension?
Go. Of the 4 guys?
Of those. Because you can only sign one. Let's be
one
real.
of them gets a deal? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
who gets it first?
If you're looking at it in terms of like who goes first in terms of the years left, I don't know if that's how you want to do it. I'm just going to look at it the exact same way. Like, let's pretend they're all in the same year right now. I'm going to look at it that way because that makes more sense to me. Otherwise, Julio and Corey are a little bit closer than Walker and Cordy. Yeah. I'm just calling Cordy. I'm always extending Corey Seager for the rest of my life. I'd like to extend Corey Seager, give him all the money. He can have my money. Don't have a lot. Have a bad car, but he can have that too if he wants it. I got a pair of Vans.
You brought donuts.
I did bring donuts.
Yeah.
Half of them are gone.
Yeah, that was all today, I'm assuming.
It was all today.
Yeah,
that's all I had for dinner.
Very proud of you. He is the most skinny fat guy you will meet. I can assure you that. It's a tough call, man. I mean, I do think Seager's the guy to put your money in. I would take Seager over Belly, but Buehler or Urias, probably Buehler. You really got to look at locking those dudes up. You got to look at locking up arms. We know the Dodgers find a way to always breed arms. It just happens. There will always be talent. They have a full rotation. They have 6 guys who can start next year, and there's 3 more in the minor leagues that are ready to go with JoJo Reyes, with even Mitch White, if you want to give him a chance. A couple of the kids they drafted this year are really damn close.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a couple of the guys that they did draft this year, and you're like, those guys in a pinch this past season probably could have made appearances and probably were legitimately considered to be brought up in some sort of capacity. And you're like, what? I mean, obviously, 60 games, wild year, but
random plug in here. Does Victor start or relieve next year?
He's reliever next year.
Oh,
yeah,
you heard it here first, folks.
I said he should be the closer before he did anything. And he's amazing. No one listens to me. No one ever listens to me. I should be first base coach.
We're very. Oh, I'd be so down. Will you sign stuff?
I would get everybody thrown out in a second. Everybody.
No, that would be Gary as first base coach. He's bad at it.
He's not a good read.
Yeah, he thinks everything's hit to him. So, this one's going to be a potentially sensitive topic. Will 2021 be Clayton Kershaw's last season in Dodger Blue? Because that's
his final season.
Will it be his final season in Dodger Blue? No. And now you can go ahead.
Back to you and the me. I do not. Man, it's a really tough situation to think about. You look at all the different factors of it. I got 47 seconds. I got time to work.
Yeah, you're good.
You look at it from the Dodgers' point of view. You don't want to spend. You don't want to spend $30 million a year on Clayton Kershaw anymore. The 2020 season arguably makes a more compelling argument for him, though. So you got to consider that. I think he's maybe a $18 million guy now, logically speaking, not with your heart. Mm-hmm. You look at Kershaw's side of it. He's got one more year. He's really dwindling down in his career, getting near the end of it. He might want to go home and play in Texas and just wrap it up there. Don't want him to do that. Don't think he will do that. So with that being said, I think he signs a short-term deal with them again and kind of just keeps that up until he's done.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere. He wants to be here, and as much as he doesn't care, air quote, about his stats and the numbers in the back of his player's card, back of his baseball card, he is going to like to see LED on it 18 times and nothing else, or whatever it is. He's got more years, and if you can get him, for 15, 14, 18 million, like you're saying, he's still the ace right now, but he will decline, and we will be sad.
Mucho.
But you can do worse than Clayton Kershaw as your number 4 or number 5 starter somewhere down the line.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
it's a weird world to think about.
Notably, he did say, as Katie points out here, he did say on Ellen that he wants to be a Dodger for his career, but that's also, just the right thing to say.
He's not going to be like, no, after this year, I'm done. Yeah, I did see that. Also, I have seen an argument pop up as of late that he will retire after that. And as out of left field as that seems, he is Clayton Kershaw, and he is wild, and he's unpredictable. I think he is going to play long term.
He loves the game too much.
That's what I think. That was my argument for it. I think he just wants to play baseball too much. He loves being there. The fact that he's in the bullpen when he just pitched the day before tells you everything you need to know about him. He wants the ball. He wants to go every single day, if he could. Yeah, we spent a lot longer on that.
That's fine. It was a good one.
Broke the ESPN rule
because the other one is lame. So I'm going to start counting it down while I set it up here. Again, I had to fill out. I made this graphic here, and I married myself to
Can't wait to talk
6?
about Bueller's horse.
I'm going to count. Yeah, 6 topics. So, and 46.
We're at 45.
Rookies of the year were announced today, and. Surprise, surprise! Of course, they weren't. They weren't on the top 3, but neither Dustin May nor Tony Gonsolin won it. It was Devin Williams, the pitcher man. The what do they call him? The
Airbender.
Airbender. Yeah, he's pretty wild. He's I wish we could have saw him pitch at least once in that Milwaukee series, but he was dead. Dustin May got I think he placed 5th and Gonsolin got a few votes, like 1 first place vote, which you're not wrong to vote him first place. He did, and he put up a phenomenal year in short time. I see that. We got AJ Hinch in the stream saying, I'm a cheat again.
Credit to the person who took the time to make that. A lot of effort involved there, and I just like it a lot.
Oh, man. Do you have any thoughts on Roy?
No, I think they got it right. I think I do think that Tony should have been in the top 3. Obviously, he wasn't. I'm not going to cry
Homer.
about it. I'm not going to really cry about it.
Cry,
For those
Homer.
of you, I saw a lot of Padres fans really upset that Cronenworth did not win Rookie of the Year, but in my mind, he was third of those guys. Devin Williams, you want to say he only pitched in 27 innings or whatever he pitched in this year. Those are 27 of the best innings that you will ever see in your entire life. Just watch him. Just watch a highlight reel, and you'll be like, yeah, that guy should have won. Yeah, striking out like 18 people per 9 innings or something ridiculous. No way.
Dude's an absolute freak with what he can do with that damn baseball. Best changeup in the game potentially. I'm just gonna push the button. I really don't know much about it. What Walker Buehler has like a minority stake in a horse that won like an $18 million purse or something.
Yeah, and he was like drunk and he was wearing a suit. And he was
suited
He's
up.
been a lot more lively on social media after winning a World Series than he ever has been, because I have never seen him post on his story in the first place.
Well, usually everything Walker Buehler posts,
it's an advertisement.
Besides that, the Dodgers ask him to pull it down. Like, do you remember when he posted Dodgers year? And then it was gone in like 20 minutes.
It was quick.
That's one reason why the Dodgers are so like Dodger players are non-flammable, is because they don't let them do anything to.
They don't let them ignite themselves. Yeah, they take away their lighters so they can't set themselves on fire. The night that they won the World Series, Buehler went on a little bit of a story posting thing where he had like a Michelob that he was holding up near his face with Kershaw, and I was like, well, it's gonna be that kind of off season. I like this so far. And he just posted pictures of him and the boys drinking, which is just, first of all, not a side you ever get to see of Clayton Kershaw or Walker Buehler. So it was really great to see. I am all for it. I would like to see more of drunk Walker Buehler the rest of the year.
That right there, I mean, I would love. That just sounds like a great series, a great show. Drunk Walker Buehler. Can we make
watch that
a thing?
on Hulu. Yeah.
Like, Gary, can we do that? Can we make this show? Can we just, like, it's us. We're just being Walker Buehler. I think that's the thing we can do.
Yeah, we can get by. Anyways, his horse won. Congrats to the horse.
We're very proud of you, Walker Buehler. Way to pick a horse. Yeah, horses. They're fun. They're delicious. I don't know. I would not do them now.
This has been a great show.
Hey guys, we appreciate y'all for sticking around with us. It's
late.
They're not all gold, you know. We had some fun.
There's nothing happening between the World Series and now. We gotta wait for the hot stove to get warm. Right now it's kind of chilly,
lukewarm.
Yeah, the oven hasn't been turned on yet. And it's room temperature.
It's windy, so that cools down the hot stove a little bit. The flame
like
actually
59
went out.
degrees in here today.
Man, that's perfect. Man, Papa Bear likes a chili. You know, we do. Anyways, sorry for wasting your time. Thanks for stopping by. Find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. That is an internet site on the .coms. We are a podcast. It is Blue Heaven. We are on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. God damn.
It is I.
It is I, Blue Heaven. I am your podcast leader. Find us on the internet at places like iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I don't think Google Play exists anymore, but there are other places like Stitcher Radio, Player FM, and oh so many more. They are great. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV, which is Spanish for television. Thank you.
No one's listening to this episode ever again. Guys, I am at BrookMe3. This guy over here is at RealFRG. We're both on Twitter and Instagram. At Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at official Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Make sure you follow us for that giveaway with Elite Sports Collectibles. Win yourself a Cody Bellinger signed ball.
Yes.
Verified. What's that called?
Authenticated
Cody Bellinger signed ball with Elite Sports Collectibles. Go give him a follow. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys. Have a good week. Stay out of the cold. Do good things.
Bad thing is I'm not even drunk.
Et cetera, et cetera. Send us beer. We love you.
Bye.
Later. Beard Man and his beard horse.
Beard Man!